Hello everyone, welcome to All the Mods 9. Now, in today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these things in the background here. Phytogenic insulators. So we're going to try and make them as OP as we can, more OP than they already are, and see if we can not max them out, if you know what I mean. So let's have a look at what we first need to do to basically crank out as many of these as possible. There's this term called the von Neumann probe. It's from a book I read, and it's kind of relevant, I think, to this point here. And what that means is basically it's like a self-replicating system. So ideally, what you'd want to do with the phytogenic insulators and all of the components that are involved here is you would want to replicate by getting the materials from the phytos themselves. So yeah, we have disabled these, or we haven't disabled them, we've changed the recipe on the server that I host, and I know it's a little bit of a controversial thing to do, but there's a little bit of a reason for that, and I will go over that at some point. But today we're just going to try and make these as OP as we can, and we're going to put together a whole set of these so they replicate themselves. So I'll get all the components together, and then we'll be right back. Right, if I'm not mistaken, we need, I think there's 21 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, maybe there's 20 here. We can always add another one at the end. What I'm assuming is that you've got some water of some sort. You could even use a sink here if you fancied, but in this case I'm using the Eternal Water Block from Evilcraft. This thing is actually really good. So we have a look at it. You need a weather container when it becomes rainy and stuff. You need the dark block. I'm not going to go over this today, but these are really useful. They basically will output, so you don't have to, like the sink basically, but the sink you have to pull the water out, whereas the Evilcraft Eternal Water Block, you don't have to do that. It will just output it to all sides. It will push it out. Really wants water to be everywhere, this thing. So I've got one of these down, and then I'm just using some mechanical pipes. They're pushing into the back of these. Now I have put all of the draconic components and everything in here. The only thing that I have not accounted for is the netherite and the dragon steel that we've got right here, because that does require us to go and get some dragon's breath and also some netherite dust, which we can easily get, I'd say. Just need a pulverizer, and then we can make netherite using seeds as well. So we could probably do that. The only thing that I would say is the easiest way of getting a large amount of dragon's breath is probably by using the hostile neural networks loot fabricator. So you are going to have to get a data model for the Ender Dragon. It's actually not 6 kills from what I remember. I think it's less kills because you get more than 1 kill per thing. Anyway, I'm not going to go over that today either. What we're going to focus on is the phytos that we've got right here. So I'm going to go from left to right, and we're just going to start plugging things in. Before I do anything though, what I will do is I'll get a locking. Oh, hello, locking. I'm going to lock these above here. So this is probably a little bit different to how other people set it up, but this is how I set it up. And that is, I use a 2x1 of things that can go into the drawers. And there's a reason I do that, and I'll show you right now. So right here, you'll see that we've got the draconic integral component. We got these I did not even look into these, to be fair. I probably should have looked at these as well. How the heck do you make these? Okay, that's amethyst and some enderium. So we could add amethyst. What I'm going to do is pretend we don't have the thermal extra mod installed right now. Right at the end, what we'll do is we'll add a couple extra of these phytogenic insulators to account for the thermal extra mod. So yes, anyway, let's get cracking. So the way that I did this is probably useful for you guys to know how I organize this, and that is I got a phyto up like this. I had a look. So in the phyto, we've got dirt. So dirt can be made from dirt essence. So that's why we've got the dirt seed. So that's the first one we're gonna grab. So I'm just gonna pull it out of the side here. To make the dirt seed, you would just normally go through, make the prosperity seed base, and then put that in with all of the infusion oil. I'm gonna completely ignore that because I'm sure everybody has seen that before. And what I'm going to do is, because I have set this up so it's push and pull from the top, and it's also pull from the back because that's where the water's going in. Now I'm able to put this in. I like putting them in the bottom. You can always put it at the top here as well. But if I put the seed in like that, you'll see that the phyto will keep that seed going, even though it doesn't have the reprocessor that we would normally have right there. So, and you can see that the dirt's not going anywhere, the essence that we've got. What you can do is you can pop the essence up the top there, and now you've got access to this essence. I have actually included all of the ingredients right here to make some phyto grow. So if I grab a bunch of this, have a look. So right now we've got 16 in there. If I stick this in, it goes up to 19. Goes up to 22. This triples the output for every phyto grow you've got. So there's basically 3 components that you need to or 4, I'd say, if you include the seed. But there's 3 components you really need, excluding the seed, and that is you need the water to go in. Underneath here, I've got infinite power. I set that up like, I think it's under one of these. Over here, I've got the infinite power cube from from mechanism, yeah. So you need water, you need phytogrow to get the most efficiency out of this, and you also need some power. So make sure you're decent on power because these do run quite hot, if you know what I mean. So anyway, that will get us the dirt that we need right there. Next one on the list is, if we have a look at the phyto again, so I'm just going to grab this one. I think I went like this and I saw that we needed glass. So for glass, we're going to use sand. So if we have a look at the sand right here, you'll notice that we need fire essence as well as dirt essence. So we're actually using a previous essence, and we're going to get the fire seed. And now the fire seed can go right there, and that's going to start making fire essence. Obviously, for now, I'm going to ignore the fact that there's phytogrow, but you would want to have that being supplied as well. So you need 3 things going in at once. Highly recommend you don't do a thing that I see a lot of people do, which is use the pipes. Well, it depends. If you're on single player, I'd say go for pipes, as in the ultimate pipe. Ultimate pipe. Where is it? No, wait. This one. Universal pipe. That's the one. Yeah. So I highly recommend you don't use these if you're on a server and you use them to your heart's content. Unless things start getting really laggy, I'd say, yeah, happily use these. What you can do with these, by the way, is if I were to plonk one of these down here, you can, in one pipe... Oh, in fact, we need to put this... I'll do it like, I don't know, right there. There we go. So if I get a pipe wrench... There we go. So what you can do with one pipe, you can have all of the different things. So you can put items, you can put fluids, you can put energy, and gas if you wanted to. But items, fluid, and energy, they're the 3 things that I was just talking about. So you need water, you need phytogrow, and you need power, right? So you could do that all off the same universal pipe. In fact, that's what I'm going to go and set up right now. Right, there we go. Using a combination of like mechanism and stuff, we've got a universal pipe. I've ripped everything out. I even ripped out the the power underneath right here. So what we've got is we've got the creative energy cell, we've got the eternal water block, and we've got the creative bin. So this is because I can never get the creative like item dispenser thingy to work in functional storage. Don't know why it doesn't work. It's just never got it working before. Just instantly pulls out any item I put in there, so it's weird. Anyway, the bin, which is from Mechanism, seems to work absolutely fine. So what I've done is slapped a quick fighter grow in there. So this is supplying the fighter grows to all of these. All of these have got fighter grow in them. It's also supplying all of the water and all of the power, because we've got water from here, power from here. I've also added one of these infinity pipe upgrades, which you can create now. That's really good. That's interesting, at least. But what this will do is it says there, transferring max integer of items, millibuckets of fluids, Fe for power, and again, millibuckets for gas. If you were going to transfer gas, and I put those in every single one of these. So these three here, all of those are being, put into this. The reason you don't want to do this on a server is because every millisecond, no, not even that, every tick, that's once every 1/20th of a second, it is checking not only here, but every single one of these, every single connection we've got right here is checking to see if water can go in there, if Phytogrow can go in there, and if power can go in there. So on a server, that absolutely wrecks on a server. So anyway, here we are now onto, if we have a look at the Phytogenic Insulators again, I went into the machine frame and I found tin, and I was like, okay, we need tin. So tin right there. So that's the next seed on the list. In fact, I probably should have gone iron first. So I'm going to go iron and then tin. So you put iron and tin. They should be sucked in and start creating iron essence, which I'm going to put up here, and tin essence. Now tin seems to be taking a rather long amount of time. Now that might be because they have nerfed a few of the seeds, which I'm really happy about, obviously, because otherwise this is stupidly OP. So I'm kind of, oh no, that one seems to be, okay, I need that one as well. Whoops, I forgot that we put it in here first. This one here seems to be not nerfed. Let's have a look at the next one on the list. I'm not going to start deleting these off here, but let's try gold. Gold seems to be nerfed, so you can't just like spam a load of gold. That's good to know. And I did forget again, so we're going to put that like here and here. When I say nerfed, all I mean is that the fighter grow doesn't actually do anything. What the fighter grow is doing over here is it's timesing the, where is it, whenever it comes out, it's timesing the essence by 3, but it's obviously not doing it here, because when this one goes up, it only goes up to 2, and then 3, so it's only going up by 1 instead of 3. So that was gold. Redstone is the one next. This one seems like, oh, I keep forgetting. Let's try and remember to put them in like that. This one seems like it's going up by 3, so that one's not nerfed. It's kind of a thing for me just to see which one's nerfed and which one isn't. So the next one is Enderium. Okay, so if we go back to the Phyto, after I had a look at the machine frame and what is needed here, so I got the iron, got the tin. You actually need iron because you need it for this bit in the middle here. You could go for this, but there's no real point. You might as well use the nugget right there. Or you could use the metal press, and you don't even need that. Or you could use the multi-servo. So it all depends. All depends, right? So anyway, what we've got here is the reason that I did, what was it, gold and redstone, is because this one here needs gold and redstone, the redstone reception coil. It's called a flux coil now, interesting. And then before that, we also need lumium. So that's why I also have a lumium ingot. So I think I probably went lumium first, and then went back for the redstone and the gold. Now, the next thing that I did was integral component. So I looked up one of these. In fact, what I'll do is I'll nab one out here so you don't have to see it up here. But I looked up one of these, and instantly I was like, okay, we need Enderium. So that's what this one here is doing. So if I grab this Enderium, put it up here, it looks like this one is also not being affected by the Phytogrow, which, love it. Honestly, love it. So we need enderium for this. We've already got lumium, so we don't have to think about that one. We do need to think about the glass that goes right here. So hardened glass is the one that you're going to want to look at. In fact, I've already bookmarked it right here. And the way that we're going to make hardened glass, instead of making an induction smelter, because the induction smelter takes time, whereas if we were to do this recipe right here with the fire charge, it takes like no time whatsoever to make fire charges once you've got all of the base components. So we're going to use the fire charge recipe. We've already got sand. We just need some quartz and some obsidian and a fire charge. So what have I got? I've got a quartz. Did I not get the quartz seed? Interesting. That's probably one I missed, which is fine. But we're going to get the quartz seed, which means we do need to add another one. Brilliant. We definitely need the obsidian seed, because we saw in this recipe here, we need obsidian. So I'm going to plonk that one in there. Looks like the quartz seed is also nerfed, which is really good, unless I... Nope, I'm all good. Obsidian also seems nerfed, which I'm very happy about again. There's actually an even easier method of doing the obsidian in this pack. So we'll have a look at that in a bit. But the next one on the list was, I tried to get gunpowder, blaze powder, but you can't get blaze powder, so we're going with blaze rods, because you can get blaze rods essence. So gunpowder, coal, and blaze rods. So for gunpowder, it's the creeper seeds, funny enough. Now, creeper seeds are done a little bit differently. I turned the wandering traders off, by the way, and for some reason they're still here. Right, there you go. He's gone away. I told him nicely to go away. Anyway, so these ones are done slightly differently because they do require these soul jars. It's a monster drop in the end, right? So, and it also requires a solarium seed instead. So that's just getting some solarium dust, but anyway, we're not going to go over that today. We are going to put the creeper essence up here. Creeper essence will make us some gunpowder, which is awesome. I think it also gives us, what else does it give us? Okay, it gives us the ability to make like all of the different, okay, how do you make that then? Ah, okay, blank records. And then you can make all of the different records, as well as just gunpowder itself, right? So gunpowder is what we're going to use that one for. The next one I had was a blaze seed and then a coal seed, because we just talked about those. I'm going to put coal first. Then I'm going to put blaze. So coal is not nerfed, which is kind of cool. That means you could probably power your entire base off of like, I don't know, 16 of these, because you make loads and loads of coal essence. It's pretty good. The blaze one is nerfed, so that's quite nice to see. So that will get us all of the components we need for the hardened glass that you get in the integral component right here. And then we move down a level. So down a level for this one is the reinforced. And for reinforced, we need nether quartz. We're getting that already from the hardened glass recipe, so we don't need to think about that one. We do need electrum, so there is an electrum seed that I need to make, and a signalum seed. So signalum is, I think the way that you make signalum, yeah, you use copper, silver, redstone, and you can use a fire charge if you wanted to, but in this case, we're just going to do the easy option and go for a seed. So what you can do is electrum and signalum, and electrum is not nerfed, fair enough, nor is signalum, so you can make an absolute ton of this if you wanted to. If you're on a server, you could probably trade these for quite a lot if you were to set one of these up, and you could trade the signalum with a bunch of people. So that is to get this integral component. This one here, the last one, only thing that we don't have from here is the invar. Now, funny enough, there is no seed for invar. As you can see, there's no seed. But there is a seed for nickel. So we're going to go for the nickel seed, because we've already got the iron seed right there. So where is it? Nickel seed. So nickel seed's going to go right there. And that's going to make us... This one is nerfed. That's so weird that this one's nerfed, but like the rest of them don't seem to be. It's very odd. Okay, there you go. There is the nickel essence. Stick that one in the top. And then finally, we want to get ourselves the phytogrow that we were talking about earlier. So the way that I was looking at Phytogrow, so let's not that one, this one. Phytogrow, that's the badger. We have a look at the Phytogrow right there. We can make it out of sand, which we've already got. We've already got a recipe for sand. That's the fire essence and the dirt essence. We need some apatite. So apatite actually has its own seed, so we'll make the apatite seed. And then the niter dust. So I was a little worried about this one because I could not find a way of getting niter other than with bees. Well, I say worried, I love bees, so there is that. But instead, what you can do is there is a seed for it. It's just, for some reason, it gives potassium nitrate dust instead, which is saltpeter. So we're going to use that instead because you can use it for making Phytogrow, as you can see right here. So we're going to use that seed. Does that make sense? So apatite, saltpeter. Oh, and we made the nether quartz one I forgot about. So I am missing a few here, but that's fine. Anyway, so I'm going to put that one there, that one there. And both of these are nerfed. That is very strange. Very odd, must admit. So that's going to get us all of the components we need for Phytogrow. And what this down here will do is give us all of the components to replicate this entire system, again, if we wanted to. Other than the seeds, but I mean, you get enough seeds back. If we pop over here, you'll see that we've got 5 seeds right there. This is actually already full up, so you might want to set up some more phytos to get yourself copper. So we can get a copper seed, and then I'm going to pop that right here. So that'll go off and make us copper. I bet it's... Oh, it is nerfed. That's so weird. Oh, strange. Anyway, if I put this one up here, put this one up here. Copper, we can put the copper one up here. Is the iron one nerfed? That is the question. It is not nerfed. That's very weird, right? But anyway, you do get extra seeds, as you can see right here. We only started with 1 dirt seed, and now we've got 5. This one here seems to have finished. So all the ones that aren't nerfed basically have finished straight away. This one's about to finish as well, right? It's going to get above a certain threshold. It's got 66 in that slot right there. That doesn't seem right, does it? But, oh well. Anyway, this one's going to get up, and then you can make yourself some copper upgrades. Now, these copper upgrades, you can put 4 of them in, and into each of the drawers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it increases, so if we right click on there, from 1024 or whatever it is, to 4.2 million dirt essence that you can have in this drawer right here. Now, you could even upgrade that. So if we have a look here, you can upgrade that to this. So this one is 8 times. So it multiplies the block item storage by 8 times. This one is by 16 times. So we'll go up to 8 million. Actually, I think it's multiplicative. So it's 16 times, and then another 16 times, and then another 16 times. So it's not double, but it's even more than that if you were to put in 4 of these upgrades. Now, there is the diamond upgrade, which is, again, even more. And then above that, there is the netherite upgrade. So we're going to get netherite upgrades. So we're going to get a couple of stacks of netherite upgrades. And you can swap out the ones that are already in there. So if we have a look now, it's 1.1 billion that you can fit in here. And you just right click and you see that I got all of my copper upgrades back. So we're going to put those away. I'm going to fill all of these up and then we'll be back in a sec. And there we go. Those are all full up now. So these will basically run forever. You could even put a, I don't know, puller into your system and have another drawer with double the amount, right? So a 1x1 drawer, so a regular looking drawer that doesn't have more than 1, can have max integer if you have 4 of these netherite upgrades in there. But for now, what we're going to do is we're just going to leave them in like this. And what you can then do is if you connect all of these to your crafting system of choice, so in our case, we'll probably go applied energistics or refined storage. You can then set up some autocrafts for each of these. So for example, the dirt, and you could probably set something up quite clever with these ones right here, because obviously half the dirt essence needs to go to making dirt, and then the other half has to go to combining with the fire essence to make some sand, because we do need quite a bit of sand, but we don't need that much dirt. So it does make sense to like figure out your ratios right there. In fact, what I would do is I would set up a recipe for a phytogenic insulator and just let your system like figure it all out for you once you've set up all of the recipes for these. So I'm not going to do that today. We'll do that maybe in an upcoming episode of this OP things to do in All the Mods 9. Right, I've moved on to the rest of the things that you'll need for the Twinite Flux Linkage Amplifier and the Draconic Integral Component. So I accidentally mixed these two up. So this, imagine this one's over here. I'm talking about it, but the Flux. So the Draconic Integral Component that we've got right here. All that this really needs, if you look at it, if we look at the Dragon Steel, actually before we do that, we need some netherite dust. So that means we need netherite. So we'll need the netherite essence. So that's why I put right here, netherite essence. And then if we have a look at Dragon Steel, and we go to, I think we need the dust. There we go. We need apatite dust. We need netherite dust. We just got netherite dust already, so that one's pretty good. We got apatite dust because we've got apatite over there. And we've got dragon's breath from this right here. So this is a loot fabricator. And is that getting power? I don't think it is. That's my bad. I need to put the power in there, didn't I? So if I do wrench, yeah, pipe wrench. Must have turned that off at some point, but there we go. That is getting some power. Because this is getting infinite power from over here. So that is creating 16 dragon's breath. Now, the reason that it's going into this is because I do have right here a modular router. And we've got a puller, pusher. So the puller is pulling from this and pushing into the oak drawer. And then we've just got speed upgrades and a muffler upgrade, so you can't see that it's there. So that is getting us the dragon's breath. That over there is getting us the netherite essence. And then if we go right here, we've got the enderium essence right there. Now, the netherite seed is not debuffed, is not like nerfed, which is very weird, isn't it? Considering that even the enderium seed seems to be nerfed. So I don't know. Some of these seem really weird. Why they're nerfed? Why they're not nerfed? Obviously, the amethyst one we can just see there that it's not nerfed, but the nether seed is nerfed. Anyway, we're gonna come back to that. So I was looking at the twinite. I think that's how you say it. Twinite right here. So we got quartz, so we don't have to think about quartz. Obviously, we will need something to do with quartz because we need to turn it into dust. There's many ways to do that, right? So I'm ignoring that for now. So for the twinite gear, we need twinite, which comes from this twinite dust. So the only thing we don't have here, we've got apatite, we've got enderium. Only thing we don't have is some amethyst dust. So I basically clicked on this and I went, not that one, I went on the other one. This one, there we go. I was like, okay, we need amethyst shards. And there is a seed for that. So we've got amethyst shards right here. Weird, there was a zombie there. So anyway, what I then did was, if we go through this, we get to here. The only thing we need is amethyst. So I was like, okay, we put in amethyst. So I did that one right there. I accidentally swapped these two round, so apologies, but still does the same. So after that, I was like, fine, we need to look at this one here. Now, this is the interesting thing. The only one I can't figure out right now is where to get cinnabar from. So I kind of assumed that there was a way that you could do it. Okay, so there's mercury sulfide. Probably use some alchemistry for this. And I'm guessing you can get that straight out of... What? You can get it from red dye? Oh, fair enough. You can make some red dye then. There we go. I was thinking you would get it out of redstone, but apparently not. You just make some red dye. It looks like half a red dye. No, sorry, half a cinnabar is red dye. Now, you can actually set up red dye easy enough using dye essence. So I'm actually going to set up the seed for that. So we're going to stick one of those there. Stick one of these down. Get a locking tool right here. One of these. Lock that up. I'm going to quickly 1, 2, 3, 4. Get 4 of those. Stick those in like that. That's all locked up. Now all we need to do is get some dye seeds, which we've got over here. Stick one of those in. And funny enough, again, these aren't nerfed, which is fine. But we can use the dye seeds right here. And I forgot about this one. We'll quickly just put this one up here. We'll come back to this one in a sec. We can use the dye seeds right here to get ourselves a absolute ton of dye essence. And then we can use the dye essence to make some red dye. We can then, I believe, if we have a look at the cinnabar again, let's go to the dust, wherever it is. Mercury sulfide, okay. That doesn't make sense. So 1 dust turns into 8 mercury sulfide, right? And then if we have a look at the if we have a look at the compactor, you can turn 1 mercury sulfide into a cinnabar. What? Okay, let's do. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to take a dissolver and a compactor. I'm going to put them right here because that's going to get them power. Although now that's going to get a load of stuff in it, which is fine. Oh, poop. Right, I've got 1 mercury sulfide. That's going to turn it into a cinnabar. And then if we get a pulverizer, aha, they did fix this. Looks like this is incorrect right here because you don't get 8, you only get 1. I just tried it. So dissolver, we got a cinnabar dust here. I was going to try and set this up automated, but put that in there and you only get 1 mercury sulfide out. So it is kind of worth having a look though and seeing if, for example, we get some red dye. Red dye. Are we going to get the amount that we think from this? So if I put this in, you do get 4 out of it. So you literally just need red dye right there, and then you can turn it into cinnabar. And then if you have some sort of system to pull out of the compactor, you put it in a ridiculously quick little pulverizer, and it's like do, and then there you go, you got your cinnabar. So the whole reason we went over this is because if I grab this out, to make the twinite, we need to get this one here, which is, yeah, it needs the cinnabar. Now for this one, if we have a look at the dust, you do need some shulker shells. So shulker shells is going to get on the list, and then bronze is going to get on the list. You can see where this is going, basically. So I was going to stop there and just show you all of that. I got a little sidetracked right here, didn't I? So let me just get rid of all of these. There we go. So yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking when I saw that the Phytogenic Insulators were added to the pack a little bit. I am calling the episode here, by the way, but yeah, my little rant at the end of the episode. And that is, when we set up all the mods 8 on a server, a lot of people were just thinking, oh, you know what I'll do? I'll just set up a absolute ton of these Phytogenic Insulators. Now, what we should have done, and some people have pointed this out recently, what we should have done is we should have said, okay, you can only have 16 Phytogenic Insulators, and we'll just limit it that way. And we'll just like trust that people will only use 16, and so they'll have to pick their like favorite things that they want to put in Phytogenic Insulators. But what some people did is they had literally an entire chunk full of Phytogenic Insulators, pulling out all of the essences and putting all of the seeds back in and everything like that. And I did tell you earlier that these transferring, it's actually trying to transfer these every single tick, the infinite pipe. And if we go into observable, which is a thing that you will have access to, you might have to go and change in your like keybinds the keybind for your observable. But if I do this and we profile the TPS, there you go. I just let that run, and you can see over here we've got a red splodge right there. So that is 213 usages per tick. Now imagine there's about 5,000 flipping things of these going everywhere. It was brutal on the server. So I know a lot of people are a bit confused why I'm so against using Phytogenic insulators, but the whole point is, why would you use anything else if you can set up basically an entire farm in a 2-block system right here? It's kind of ridiculous, if you know what I mean. I did at one point have the farm that everyone seems to be setting up nowadays, which I think it's at least a little bit more exciting, right, than the setting up all of the phytos. I did have that set up over here, but I had to rip it down because that is also very laggy. I'm all about saving on lag, is what I'm trying to say. So you could do this. I'd suggest doing this if you were in your single player and you didn't want to set up something else. I will just say that a chunk destroyer is so easy to set up and set and forget, right? So if I was to play on a single player world, I'll probably set up a chunk destroyer and just leave it in the mining dimension for ages. You also get a load of GregTech ores out of the mining dimension now, and you can also do something like this, and this will just get you some random ores as well. So it looks like all the GregTech ores have been removed from doing the modular router Boon of Earth sort of smouty thing. So over here, this has got the same issue where you're not really getting any of the GregTech ores like you used to, and they've also stopped it so you can't have an Eternal Stellar, or Stellar Eterna, whatever you want to call it, on a miner, one of these bad boys from Occultism. These things are really cool. If I grab a dimensional mineshaft like this and I plonk it down and I put one of these in, over time, it's got a durability, as you can see. Over time, there you go, you get a random ore, and you do get GregTech from this, so you might want to make a few of these. The only thing is they've got durability. They used to be able to have, if I take this out, a Stellar Eterna put on them, but it looks like that's no longer a thing, which really annoyed me because I was just about to put Stellar Eternas on them when they made that change. So if you did make the change before, so if you added Stellar Eternas before, they should still have that effect of infinite durability. Another thing you can do though is I believe you can enchant these. Yeah, you can. There you go. So you can enchant them with mending. And if we get some bottles of enchanting, we hold this in our offhand. There you go. You can get this one back up. I wonder if the blood chest also works. Right, there we go. I got some of this condensed blood, and can we pop this in? This has only got one durability removed from it right now. And it does work. So technically, you could set up an entire field of these master miner marids, which they are kind of expensive to make, but once you've made them, like obviously you can just pull them out and put them back in. And if you have like, I don't know, 100 of these going, we should actually have a look and see how bad they are on the server. So let me do another observable. Huh, that's really interesting. This one's not too bad, but over here, why the heck is that happening right there? Odd. Anyway. Weird. Over there is always going to be quite high. Yeah. Cool. Right. Anyway, I've talked about a few things here. There's also the lasers from Industrial Foregoing. Absolutely amazing. You can actually get unobtainium, allthemodium, and vibranium from those. If that interests you, let me know, and I'll make a video on it. So, yeah. If anyone has anything that they really want covered from All the Mods 9, then let me know, and I'll try and do my best, basically, to come up with a video to cover it to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, anyway, let's call it there for today. So, thank you for watching. Thanks for joining, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.